Welcome to another episode of my Coffee Break Art. Here you'll find snippets about art, something to watch in your coffee break. This video started out by looking at one of the most talked about installations in the Tate Gallery in London. Called by most people the pile of bricks, although the official name is Equivalent V111 or Equivalent 8. In 1976, a nationwide controversy was about to come to the boil over a pile of bricks. For the grand sum of £2,297, the Tate Gallery bought American artist Carl Andre's 1966 late modernist piece called Equivalent 8. Which is made from 120 grey bricks, laid out in a symmetrical pattern in 2 layers. At first, there was very little public reaction, but in 1976, the Burlington magazine challenged the gallery's choice to buy the work. This article was whipped up by the popular press, resulting in quite a heated public debate, many people deciding that the Tate Gallery had been conned. Some even said it shouldn't be considered art at all, suggesting that your average bricklayer could have made it. The Daily Mirror ran a picture of the bricks on its front page with the text, "Whichever way you look at Britain's latest work of art, what a load of rubbish." Didn't help when it was revealed that after first exhibiting this work in New York, Andre returned the original bricks for a refund. So new bricks were brought and shipped to the UK for the Tate. It wasn't even his original piece. The Tate's director, Sir Norman Reed, was furious and replied, saying that in the Tate's view, the Andre would in time be accepted as among the most important art of the period. And looking back on it today, he had a point. You could consider that the pile of bricks reflects British attitudes in the 1970s and the general mood of the nation. Britain then was on the verge of fundamental changes in attitude, style, changes in lifestyle and economy. So looking back, the pile of bricks has become one of the most well-known pieces in the Tate Gallery, and it's still being exhibited 40 years on as a stony reminder to the so-called decade of discord. But is it art? Well, it does challenge our perception, ask a question, but does that make it a piece of art? Well, perhaps not. If you have an interest in art, you will be familiar with non-representational art, such as Jackson Pollock or Mark Rothko's. So clearly representation is not essential for something to be considered as art. But in this case, the work has little aesthetic quality and was created simply to make a statement, as a challenge, almost a snub to those who pontificate on matters of art. They might suggest to us that the essence of art cannot always be found in the intrinsic features of the work. But what else could it consist in? Maybe art is a status bestowed upon certain forms of practice by large institutions, the galleries, critics, funding councils, agents and so on. These institutions, with their collective view on painting, sculpture, music and so on, are sufficiently powerful that they can deem any new thing to be art, including performance art. Major commercial galleries promote their in-house artists at massive costs and expect the same sort of returns on the sales. Art specialists subsequently pontificate about these declared works of art, but risk those of us who consider ourselves free thinkers wondering if their belly-button studies illustrate a prime example of the emperor's new clothes. Here's a piece submitted in 1917 to the Society of Independent Artists in New York by Duchamp and called The Fountain. He had purchased a urinal from a sanitary ware supplier, signing it R. Mutt, and he stood it on end. The version of this you might have seen in the Tate and quite a number of other art galleries are all replicas, as the original was lost. However, over time, this item has become one of the most famous pieces of the last century, and to question its standing as a great piece of art could be considered sacrilege. I could be hung and quartered for less. But I will be brave enough to suggest that, as will Equivalent 8, it was never intended as a work of art, rather as a statement against the art establishment, albeit a very important statement. But to describe it as a work of art and to contemplate its construction, its form, its sexuality and its gender identification might be great semantics, but it misses the point. The same point that the pile of bricks was trying to make. Our understanding and appreciation of art grows by observing, by reading, and by listening to the comments of others, especially the experts. But in the end, any piece of art impinges on you personally. So you have to make your own mind up and be confident enough to form your own views. And thank you for watching this Coffee Break Art. I hope you enjoyed it. You can help me to get more views by clicking on the subscribe button, and I would appreciate this. Don't hesitate to add a comment below, and I'll see you next time.